Welcome to another episode of the Filipino Genealogy Channel. Today, we will discuss the family tree of the rulers of Central Luzon, that is, the ancestors of Lakandula, Matanda, and Soliman, as well as their cousins and other close relatives as mentioned in various sources. Their family tree is one of the most fascinating family trees for any Filipino family. This video takes into account all previously written and researched genealogies of the Central Luzon rulers, called by the late Luciano P.R. Santiago as the Super-Principalia families in Philippine society. It is interesting to note that the usage of the term Super-Principalia was first coined by Norman G. Owen in his work on the Principalia of Bicol. As such, the genealogy of families like that of former President and House Speaker Gloria M. Arroyo has been fully traced and documented, thanks to the works of the likes of Santiago, Beyer, Parker, Henson, etc. Many other more recent writers have made use of these scholars' works, but they remain the pioneer in terms of tracing the family tree of the Super-Principalia. The references for this video are the following. 1. El Folklore Filipino, 1890, by Isabelo de los Reyes. 2. Various writings by H. Otley Beyer, 1919. 3. Various writings by Luther Parker, 1931. 4. Genealogy of the Rulers of Central Luzon, 1953, by Mariano Henson. 5. Cracks in the Parchment, 1978, by William Henry Scott. 6. The Houses of Lakandula, Matanda, and Soliman, 1990, by Luciano P.R. Santiago. 7. Rajas Katunao, Lakandula, Tupas, and Matanda, 1992, by Luis C. Derry. 8. A History of the Inarticulate, Local History, Prostitution, and Other Views from the Bottom, 2001, by Luis Camara Derry. 9. Beating the Odds, The Life, the Times, and the Politics of Diosdado P. Macapagal, 2005, by Cecilia Pastano Serrano. 10. Royal Ark, Brunei Genealogy by Christopher Byers. The names in this family tree are also color-coded. Those in green are found in sources 1 to 4 and 8. Those in blue are found only in source number 7. Those in orange are found in sources 6 and 7. Those in pink are found in sources 6, 7, and 10. Those in yellow are found in sources 1 to 4, 6 to 7, and 10. Finally, those in violet are found in sources 1 to 4 and 6 to 7. The earliest mention of the ancestors of Lakandula and his family was supposedly in the will executed by Fernando Malong Balagtas in 1589. This will was featured in the works of H. Otley Beyer in 1919, and Luther Parker in 1931. The interesting thing about this will is the genealogy it contains. While Filipino politician and writer Isabelo de los Reyes in 1890, and American historian William Henry Scott in 1978, both question the provenance of the will as do many other more recent historians, Santiago nevertheless writes in 2001, that though it is true that there are doubts on the will, the genealogy it contains should probably be considered separately as many of the names it enumerates appear in various old manuscripts. The first in the family tree was a nobleman called Principal Arroyo. The will of Balagtas, as well as later discussions on Principal Arroyo, all claim that he was from the royal house of Borneo. Naturally, this is hard to confirm. The timeline for Principal Arroyo was sometime in the 1300s AD, when the Philippines was already under remote influence by the Majapahit Empire. The Majapahit Empire was the last Indianized kingdom in Indonesia. It was based in eastern Java, and existed between the 13th and 16th centuries. It was an empire stretching from Sumatra to New Guinea, consisting of present-day Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, Brunei, southern Thailand, East Timor, Sulu Archipelago, and other parts of the Philippines. Principal R married a local by the name of My Lag, who is also another noble person as she is always written with the title of Lady. Nothing much is said more of these two, except that based on where their descendants happen to have lived they probably settled in Pampanga and Bulacan. 2 children were born from their union, Principal Gatpandan and Principal Lantak. Both Gatpandan and Lantak had children. According to the Malong Baliktas will, Gatpandan's children founded Ternate, Moluccas. Principal Lantak had 4 children, 3 daughters by the names of Panginoan, Lahat, and Kaya, and 1 son by the name of Salalila or Sri Lila. Beyer in 1919 later identified as Soliman or Soliman I, the founder of the Kingdom of Manila. These 4 children were born within the years 1400 until 1478, a time when the Majapahit Empire had started to decline. According to Henson, Soliman I was married to a Lady Ismaria and they had at least 3 sons, Soliman II, Matanda, and Lakandula. Although Beyer and Henson made use of the questionable Baliktas will as source for their genealogy, these personalities were proven to be real by later historians like Santiago and Dari as well as other sources like the Tarsilis of Brunei's royal families. In Brunei's genealogy, Lady Ismaria was known simply as a princess of Brunei. While Santiago could not identify the name of Matanda's father, he was mentioned in the Tersila of Brunei's royal family as the Raja of Manila who married a daughter of Sultan Bolkiah and his second wife, Putri Lela Manjana of Sulu. Soliman II had at least 2 children, an unnamed son and Raja Soliman III. This unnamed son had at least 3 children, Gabriel Twambasan, Agustin de Legazpi, who married a granddaughter of Sultan Bolkiah of Brunei, and Geronimo Bassi. All 3 sons were involved in the revolt of the Lacans, or also known as the Tondo Conspiracy. As one of the leaders, Agustin de Legazpi was brutally hanged, and his head chopped off and placed in an iron cage. His brother Geronimo Bassi was also executed, while their properties were also seized, with half going to the royal treasury and the other half to judicial expenses. Furthermore, their homes plowed and sown with salt to remain barren. The third brother, Gabriel, was exiled to New Spain for 4 years. Raja Soliman III had 2 children, Raja Vago, who was killed accidentally by the Spaniards, and Maria Laran. Meanwhile, Raja Matanda was also married to another Bruneian princess. He had at least 3 children, Maria Bulaktela, Ambrosio Magisa, and Luisisa. All were married and left descendants. Tracing down the line further, we get to Lakandula's children. Among his 6 documented and proven children, only the eldest, Joni Shokapulong, is found in all the documents and scholarly articles about Lakandula's children. Santiago identified 5, Joni Shokapulong, Magat Salamat, Felipe Salonga Maria Poloan, and Martin Lakandula. Dari further adds another son, Luis Taclocmao, making the total number of Lakandula's children 6. There are some claims that Lakandula had an older child by the name of Ba Tongdula. However, nowhere in any of the previous scholarly works or even in the existing archival documents was there any mention or documentation of a Ba Tongdula. So, without corroboration of this supposed eldest son of Lakandula, it can be concluded for now that there was no Ba Tongdula among the children of Lakandula. So that's it for today's video. We hope you learned something and enjoyed this presentation. Watch out for another video tomorrow at 8 a.m. Philippine Standard Time. Thank you for watching, and always stay safe. Goodbye.